What's up, guys? It's your boy Mizzy, and I'm here today to give a prediction for the Georgia and Georgia Tech game Friday. I think kickoff is at 3:30. So, man, this game, of course, is rivalry week. We got the Iron Bowl going. We got Ohio State versus Michigan. So, like I said, Georgia Tech last year was that might have been a top 5 game last year. It was like a 44-42 overtime game. Haynes King went crazy. Like I said, Gunnar Stockton, he had the helm this year. Last year was Carson Beck. Carson Beck might have had about, I don't know, maybe 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. He went. It was just an offensive game last year. And this year I don't see the game quite going that way. I think this year this Georgia team is last year I felt like Georgia really didn't know their identity. This year I think this Georgia team knows what they are. They know what they want to do. They don't get too far outside of their realm. Like I said, they're comfortable. Like this Georgia team, they can play passing the ball and running, but it's hard to get them out of what they want to do. You got to be a great team. And I feel like going into this game, this is like the best offense I've seen from a Georgia team in recent memory, probably since maybe their championship year. But I don't know, maybe even a little more explosive than that. If Kobe Young was there, I definitely would say. But they still got a lot of great weapons. Like, man, this Georgia team, that's why I think that, like I said, this game is going to be difficult for Georgia Tech to win because, like I said, man, you got to deal with Nate Frazier, who's been running good out the backfield. You got to deal with Branch, Lawson, Noah Thomas has been stepping up ever since the Kobe Young injury. Then Oscar Delp. It's a lot of weapons on this team. Like I said, that I just really think that if Georgia plays their game, because I feel like Georgia, when they come in and they run for 150 plus 200, Gunner can play off that play action, get them linebackers biting down. It's just a tough day, man. It's real tough. Like I said, for Georgia Tech to win this game, it's gonna have to be another Haynes King miracle game. And Haynes King, that guy's a fighter. He's tough. It's gonna have to be another game like last year of him rushing maybe 15, 20 times, having the ball, rushing for about 100-some yards, passing for 200-300. Because like I said, man, to beat this Georgia team, and like I said, last year he played great offensively and they still lost. So, of course, the number one thing you always want to do is win time of possession. If Georgia Tech could hold the ball, 38 minutes or something, and keep gunning them on the sideline, that would probably be their best bet. And this is one of those games you can't settle for a lot of field goals. If you watch Georgia Tech, they kick a lot of field goals. And last week we seen versus Pitt, we seen that with the offense being off timing, passes dropped, we seen what happened. All year I was thinking like, man, that's why I always tell people, you got to watch the games. Watching Georgia Tech, I think they were a good team, but their record didn't signify to me that they was a great team. Like right now, I think they ranked 23rd. That's probably right, them being around the bottom of the rankings. Because I just don't see this as a great Georgia Tech team. I see Haynes King as a tough guy. Like I said, man, he's rushed the ball this year for 168 times for 883 yards, 15 rushing touchdowns. Like, this guy's a fighter, man. So, anything's possible. But like I said, man, I just don't see Georgia Tech winning. But like I said, if they do, it's going to be off of Haynes King. How many explosive plays can Georgia Tech create in this game? Either in the run or the pass. Because a lot of times Georgia Tech, a lot of their passes are in the flats. A lot of them not deep shots. A lot of the offense Georgia Tech does is, and like I said, that's playing in the Georgia hands because Georgia is one of the best tackling teams. You're not too many times going to throw a ball in the flat and Georgia just let you go downfield 20, 15 yards. And like I said, that's a lot of the passes Georgia Tech like to do. They're going to have to see if they can get some downfield going. Like I said, if Georgia Tech wide receivers are Eric Rivers, Isaiah Kenyon and Malik, if they can get some going downfield, because you're going to have to make this Georgia team stretch and get no linebackers from coming down. Because, like I say, man, C.J. Allen and Rajan Wilson, if you got them, like I said, because everybody knows Georgia Tech is going to try to run the ball. Haynes King going to run the ball. So if you got them guys, Georgia linebackers playing up, it's just going to be a long day trying to make your, like I say, win the game running between the tackles. Because, like I said, man, this is a very disciplined Georgia team. This team is, I think, more of the team Kirby won't. It's like I said, it's a tough team. And like I said, man, these past couple of weeks, they've been starting to run the ball good. Like I said, Nate has been running. Last week, he might have had two touchdowns early. You know, of course, I know it was it Marshall? It was a small school. So like I said, of course they took care of business and the starters was out early, but they did look good. Georgia is playing their best football of the season late in the season, and you always want to play your best football late. Like I say, man, and Georgia Tech, they're not playing their best football late. So just a combination of that, it's hard for me to see them winning. The game is gonna be in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be a packed house. I think it would lean. I know if you look at Georgia Tech, of course, it's closer for them. But like I said, it's not like it's crazy coming from Athens to play in Mercedes-Benz. Like I said, to them, it's a home game either way. And like I said, man, I just feel there's just going to be a tough uphill battle for Georgia Tech to win this game, man. Like I said, man, it's just real difficult to see. Gunner probably would have to turn the ball over maybe 2 or 3 times, or you get some fumbles, something. Special teams got to flip the field, shorten the field to play, give Georgia Tech, some easy touchdowns. Because this game, like I said, playing this Georgia team, no field goals would not get it done. Y'all going to have to get in the end zone. And like I said, man, it's just going to be tough. So I'm leaning, not even leaning. I'm picking Georgia to win. I'm thinking 35-17. Like I said, I just really don't see this game being close. I think Georgia is favored. It was last time I was looking, it was like 14.5 or 13.5. It's just hard for me to see Georgia losing this game, man. Georgia is a great football team. They number 4 right now. Like I say, and like I say, it's just hard. They know even if Georgia did lose this game, I think they would be in the college football playoffs. But man, Kirby, he's a tough coach. He's not gonna have this team coming into this game, sleepwalking or lackluster. He's gonna have them come in like, look, man, let's come in, take care of business, like I say, and try to go ahead, see where the cards lay. If we can get into the SEC championship, if we can't get in, let's see what happens. So like I said, man, I'm thinking Georgia 35-17. It's a Friday game, I think. So like I say, anything is possible always, but it's just gonna be tough. You probably would, how Georgia come out slow every once in a while. They haven't did that lately, but that's what Georgia Tech would need to win. If Georgia come out, first half is Georgia to put up 10 points, and they haven't put this team away earlier. And Georgia Tech, like I say, they are running the ball, maintain the time of possession, keeping gun over there. That's the way that they would have to win this game. I don't think because like I said, last year they got into a shootout, and we seen they still lost the game. I think this game is more, you want to keep Georgia low scoring and see if you could get into the fourth quarter, then all bets are off, and then we'll see what happens. But like I said, I got Georgia 35-17. It should be a great weekend of college football, guys.